Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Well, another week has passed, and I pray everyone had a Merry Christmas, and we're moving toward the new year 2021. A lot of us are looking forward to this new year and leaving this old year behind. It's been quite a challenge for many of us in business and in our own family lives with so many illnesses and sicknesses, some dying, some we're leaving behind in this old year. But we have to move forward. We have to forge forward into our future. Especially here in this country of the U.S., as patriots, we need to move forward. We need to speak out more than we have been in the past. And we see that is occurring right now as we face these issues with elections and everything else that are coming up, some of the runoff elections, and also the presidential election, which to me was a farce with all the irregularities and everything else. Some of this stuff, hopefully it'll all get worked out in the end. But regardless, President Donald J. Trump taught us something. We can't just sit back on our laurels and forget to watch out for our constitutional freedoms. We just cannot let those in this country, in the Democrat Party especially, who would try to take away our constitutional rights. First of all, our First Amendment rights was the right for free speech, and the Second Amendment right, the right to keep and bear arms for our safety and our family safety. But this has been an interesting year for me. I thank God that I made it through this year. This year I've had two, I don't know if you call them minor surgeries. I had two surgeries this year, and that was quite a challenge in January and then just recently here in November. But we're moving forward with our lives and continue to move forward to accomplish what we need to accomplish in this year ahead. I am excited. I am encouraged as I see the things that are going on in our government and in around the world. You may wonder, well, why is he encouraged? Well, I'm encouraged because finally, we are being, as the American people, someone is standing up for us. Regardless of how the results of the election will come out, as far as President Trump and this gentleman, Joseph Biden, I believe that we have enough momentum right now where Congress needs to be careful, the Senate needs to be careful, because we are watching. The American people are watching. There was a statement out about being woke. We have woken up. You've woken up a lot of sleeping giants with all this corruption and all this lying in our mainstream media. And now people are awake and they're paying attention. You might be trying to stop the conservative voice, but we're not going to stop. We've been around for a long time, and we'll continue to come around and to give the truth to the American people, the patriots. We are of the patriots. We stand for what is right in our Constitution and in our government here in the United States of America. Well, saying that, we're glad to be here once again with you here on the Black Conservative Voice. This is the last Monday in the year 2020. And I want to thank you for joining me here. Right now in the news, there's a lot of things going on. We have the shooting in Nashville and several other states. There were some shootings that went on. The violence, even here in the Houston area, has picked up. People are starting to have these road rage shootings and killings that are going on here. People, calm down. Things in this society might be difficult, but that does not give us the excuse to lose our heads and go using weapons to equalize things in this crazy world that we're living in right now. We've got to stop this foolishness. And I'm calling on law enforcement in Houston, the ministers in Houston, and all those in this Houston area to keep the people calm. Get them calmed down. Keep them calm. We don't need to be jumping out of our vehicles shooting at people because they cut us off from the light somewhere. What I like to do is that when people do stuff like that, they get mad at me or whatever, I just wave at them. I might wave and say, hey, hi, how you doing? Because I know they're having a rough day, obviously. If they're fussing at me, throwing fingers and cursing and getting upset. Maybe it's not the best thing to acknowledge them. Of course, I advise don't acknowledge them at all. Don't say anything to them. If they're off their head and they're not listening and they look like they're crazy, don't say nothing to them. Just look straight forward and keep moving. Because most of the time that calms the issue because they want attention. That's why they are there. It's almost like babies in a crib. They figure if we make enough noise, they'll pay attention. I've always thought it was humorous to see people getting upset when they are the ones that are doing the wrong things. Well, we're not going to go too much into this because I know some people probably already getting upset now. What are you talking about? Okay, anyway. We're going to take a short break. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
Did you know Kelly Loeffler was ranked the most conservative senator in America?
Yep, she's more conservative than Attila the Hun.
Fight China. Got it. Attack big government.
Yeah. Eliminate the liberal scribes.
More conservative than Attila the Hun.
Uh-oh.
Kelly Loeffler, 100% Trump voting record.
I'm Kelly Loeffler. I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Well, the big thing in the news right now is the COVID-19 or the coronavirus relief package was turned down by President Trump. He refused to sign it unless some changes are made. Now, the Democrats have come to the table. They say, okay, yeah, we'll agree with this change. Even Nancy Pelosi and her gang, they say, hey, this is good. Let's give the people, the American people, more money. Maybe we do need to cut back on this giving to the foreign countries on their issues and start paying more attention to our country. I don't know what the new bill looks like. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of the game, but I do know that the Democrat Party are wanting to give not the Republicans, but everybody their due and giving them additional $1,400 instead of some $600 little crap thing that they put in this stimulus bill. See, Republicans, I'm going to talk to you Republican congressmen and especially Republican Senate because I know that the Democrats will get it past the House. They probably already have. But I want to encourage you to pass this bill because if not, we're going to be looking at a takeover once again of the Democratic Congress and we're not going to regain control. The people are not stupid. They're watching me right now telling you, if you do not do something about this thing and stop whining and crying, you got your hundreds of thousands of dollars that you get every year for sitting on your butts and pretty much doing nothing. Instead of just saying to everybody, I want to applaud Ted Cruz and some other ones who have actually done something in this past year to help these situations going on. Especially Mr. Cruz, I appreciate him coming up and bringing up the fact about the Senate term limits. This is exactly what I've been talking about. We need to start limiting terms. We can't have people coming and staying in for 20 and 30 years. I'm sorry. 2 terms should be enough. And 2 terms in the Senate is 12 years. That's enough. We need to cut it off after that. And once this rule is passed, whatever, I don't know how he's going to get it passed unless he does the bill and somehow gets it through the House and brings it to the Senate and let Mike Pence help him to pass it because somebody needs to get this bill passed. These people are sitting on their butts for years and years and years. They're collecting millions of dollars in retirement from the American people, and we're getting these $600 stimulus checks when you destroyed our businesses, you destroyed our livelihoods, you destroyed our families, keeping us from eating. I'm not talking about this Democrats. I'm talking about Republicans right now. You need to understand, I'm very tired of hearing this garbage about a deficit. The deficit's been going on for years. It didn't just pop up out of the middle of nowhere. We've had a deficit. But yet we've continued on. You've continued on government spending, funding the government. What about the American people who you destroyed their businesses and taking food out of the mouths of their children. We need to do something about this. $2,000 to me is too little. I think $3,500 will be a better number. When this pandemic came and all this garbage, I lost thousands of dollars in my business. I lost my whole business. Something I worked 3.5 years to build. It was doing well. It just started to pick up even more. And they closed the door on everything. So I'm very unhappy about this foolishness that's going on in the Senate. You need to pass this bill. And thank God that it's only $2,000, because I believe it should be much more. You might be sitting up there, you're getting your paycheck, with us people out here that are struggling through this pandemic, lost a business. A lot of us lost our homes, lost our livelihood, and trying to live. I got people bring food to me, and it may seem weird to you. I'm sitting there reporting to you, but we need sponsors. So if you are in a business and you feel like you want sponsors here, we got a special sponsor on right now. If you buy 2 months of representation with sponsorship, we're only charging right now at this present time $20 for a 30-second ad. And we reach at least 15,000 to 22,000 people per episode of this program. For the whole CTM News Network, or where we're at, we reach 500,000 people. I think it was per month or per day or something to that nature. At least 50,000 per day. So if you want your business to go forward or whatever, now's the time to help us that are trying to help you through reporting the truth that should be reported to the American people. Because, as I said to you, I'm having struggles too, because I need support of the conservative business, the black conservative business especially, and also those who are Trump supporters that are like people like Voices for Trump and all these people. You need to come on this station. We're supporting the conservative view. Help us out. I know we're a small station. I know we're moving forward. I know Newsmax is out there, several other ones that are big, but with the race that we have, we should be able to get some help too as a conservative news station. The reason why I was saying about the we have a special going on right now. If you purchase 2 months at $20 per spot, that's a 30-second spot, we will give you 2 months free. 2 months free if you pay for 1 month up front. 2 months. That's a lot of advertising. And we advertise most of the Trump events, the freedom conferences, everything that's conservative pointing toward the right. So we're advertising. So every time those things come on, did you see about President Trump, President Pence, the America First rallies? We publish all of those. Matter of fact, within the last month, we've had over 1 million views. So if you advertise with us for a cheap rate of $20 for a 30-second spot, I don't know what you can afford, but that's cheap. You know, I'm telling you, you can purchase 2 spots in my program for 2 months and to get 2 months free. So it's a good thing to look into if you have a business, small business, whatever. Mom and pop restaurant. Our biggest audience, I'll tell you right now, is here in the state of Texas. So you need to get behind that. Now, President Trump wants $2,000 for the American citizen. And I agree with him. I would hope for more, but this is good. But the Republicans, as I say, Republican senators, you cannot afford not to approve this package. I'm telling you, if you want to get the Congress to be controlled by the Republican Party when 2022 comes, you better help us out, because you may lose control of the Senate, because we have a runoff election coming. If you make something like this, you don't think Warnock or whatever his name and Ossoff are going to mention this to the American people there in Georgia, that you didn't even want to stand behind them for a little more money after giving millions of dollars to foreign governments for their borders and crazy stuff like that. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you here on the Black Conservative Voice, and I'm David Colbert.
I'm David Perdue, and I approve this message.
John Ossoff and Chuck Schumer have been caught in a lie. Senator Perdue welcomed a full review of his stock trades, and the Department of Justice, the SEC, and even the bipartisan Senate Ethics Committee cleared him completely. Despite that, Ossoff and Schumer continue the lie, spending millions to hide their radical socialist agenda. What else are they lying about?
Welcome back. President Trump has been speaking recently about this NDAA, and I believe he's telling the truth. This is a travesty. This foolishness they got going on with this NDAA. You read that mess, and I'm telling you, our president is very intelligent. Everybody wondering where he's at. Well, he was sitting down reading that 5,000-page bill. That's why you didn't see him in public. He was studying. He was doing his study, his due diligence to see what the heck was in that bill. When he found out what was in it, he said, hold on, I'm not going to do this. Well, you're going to screw the American people, give them $600, which can't even make most of our car payments, and then leave them with all these other little things going on. I appreciate what President Trump is doing, and I'm telling you, Democrat Party, you got a good chance here to beat the Republicans. If you do not get behind this bill with this $2,000 stimulus payment, direct payment to the American people, you better look out. You're going to have some issues when it comes. Now, I don't know if you voted for it yet or not. Maybe you're going to do this week. But you're looking out for issues when it comes 2022. Because the American people are tired. We're tired of being held up. And we're tired of being the Republican Party saying, oh, this is going to increase the deficit. Let's take your paycheck away. Let's not pay the Senate for 2 or 3 months. Or the Congress. Let's stop paying them. I think we could cover a good bit of the deficit if we stop your payments, stop paying you. Let you be out of financial support for a few months, maybe 6 months. What about that? Why don't the Senate surrender 6 months of their salary to help the American people? Say, hey, here's 6 months of our salary. I want the people to have $2,000 direct stimulus check. So I'm, as a senator, I'm going to go ahead and surrender my salary for the next 6 months so that the American people can get some help. You know, I don't know what people look at. People look at these people around here, they only look at what they want to look at. The people who are really struggling, it's like they ignore them. You look at the media, they ignore those people. I have somebody come on later this week. You know, they're coming on audio because they're going through some stuff. But I want them to tell you what they've been through this year. So you can understand that there's a lot more stuff going on. If I can't get on, maybe I'll give the story myself. But the thing is we need to stand behind the American people. Senate and Congress. Congress is already willing to pass it. You Republicans need to shut up, stop whining and crying about the deficit. We know the deficit's there, but why don't some of you take some spending cuts in your salary since you're so apt and complaining about the American people getting a measly $2,000 one-time payment. We're not getting nothing else, but a lot of us are falling behind this mamby-pambying around this direct stimulus payment. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to go on all show. I keep this up. But recently, Congresswoman-elect Woman Boebert, she stood up for the women's right to keep and bear arms, which is really everybody's right to keep and bear arms. The Second Amendment right she stood up for, and I think she brought a good point. In a recent interview, Congresswoman Boebert added, the Second Amendment allows women to defend their right to live, to life. You know how many women are killed or beaten badly by their husbands? If they had a good weapon, they might be able to stop that garbage. I don't think many men will be jumping up trying to beat their wives up. If she said, hey, look, you know I got a 9 in my pocket. I might have to take you out. You keep abusing me. I'm not saying that bothers people to do anything like that, but I'm saying if a woman has something to protect herself, it's a good thing. I'm not saying advocating going out and killing people because they're not treating you right. But as far as like abuse and beating on people, hey, you don't need to be doing that. So I defend the Second Amendment right because we have a right to keep and bear arms in this country. And the Democrat Party, of course, is trying to take that away from us, especially, which is kind of weird because they themselves have arms and they keep it and bearing them as well. You think they ain't protecting their families? You think they don't have weapons in their house? That's what makes me upset about that. But this came amidst a backlash against a lawsuit that seeks to dissolve the NRA, which was filed by Democrat New York Attorney General Letitia James earlier this year. Earlier this year, also, the freshman Congresswoman Boebert elect came under fire when she kept her restaurant, Shooter's Grill. I like that restaurant. I got to come over there and visit that place. Shooter's Grill opened despite her state's Democrat that lockdown order. She also made a correct statement. I call it correct. I'm not going to quote you directly, exactly, but she said the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms is not about hunting or the rifles per the NRA. This is our right to protect our homes and our families and our lives against criminals who would come in and seek to harm the people. So, moving on. We're going to finish up with this little story, but we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice of David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. We're going to talk a little bit about a gentleman by the name of Governor Gavin Newsom. It's getting close, Gavin. They're going to get your butt out of there soon. You're going to be ousted by the California citizens. Despite strict lockdowns in California, COVID-19 cases are higher than ever. President Trump addressed the Democrat-run states in their lockdown in recent days and said that locking the states down causes far more harm than leaving them open and doing the safe distancing and all these things, all these rules, saying the Republican-run states, which is true, are doing much better compared to your states, Democrats, doing much better. And your states have tougher restrictions. Yet, a lot of states, the Republican-run governors, allowing their states to move through the stages that President Trump set up in the beginning. You Democrats need to cut this out. You're going to be out here. You're going to be out of all your mayorships, your governorships, and everything else if you don't clean this mess up. I'm telling you, I'm giving you some advice. You need to clean this mess up, and Republicans, you better pass this bill in the Senate, or else you're going to be in a world of hurt come 2022. And maybe not even 2022, because 2021 is when the voting is going to start, I'm sure, coming toward into 2022 when we get to the primaries. You've got to get this accomplished. The Democrats are on up and up on this one. If you don't accomplish it, with President Trump behind it, and all the people you see that voted for him, you better get ready to relinquish the Senate and the Congress to the Democrat Party. I don't want that. But as far as the Gavin Newsom and all this stuff, a professor of medicine at Stanford University commented on the Democrat-ordered lockdown as well, saying protecting the elderly and high-risk people is what really helps. Dr. Navarro with the WHO added that such restrictive measures should be treated as a last resort. This is even coming from the World Health Organization. Should be limited. It should not be a mandate. And the Democrats got to get off of it, guys. January 1st, I know you all were on vacation. Get rid of all these lockdowns. You can set up the social distancing, set up partial open restaurants, give them space in between. I've been to the restaurants here in Texas. We're doing great. I don't have COVID-19. I've been in several restaurants. I've been to several locations. So, anyway, I want to thank you for joining us here at the Black Conservative Voice. I pray we continue to move forward through the new year ahead, and keep watching. We're going to keep up and keep you up on current events and what's going on in our government. There's so much going on. I can't report on everything because there's so much going on. We have so many things going on. We'll get to it when we get to it. We want to make sure that we bring you fair and balanced reporting, just as Fox News used to. But we just are here for you, for the American people, the patriots, for the conservative people, for those in this country who love this country and who do not want to change this country into socialization. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Black Conservative Voice. And I want to say to you like what I always like to say. It's this last Monday here in the year 2020. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Until next time, this is David Colbert saying good night and God bless.